Hyundai Motor India, one of the biggest IPOs in the Indian history. The much anticipated listing is the first by an automaker in almost 2 decades in India that we're seeing. Now, Hyundai Motor India, its market-leading SUV offering, it's driving into uncharted territory by this IPO, and the company is deriving around 76% of its revenues from the domestic operations and the remaining from the export market. It's one of the key players in the Indian auto market. SUV contribution, that's a significant amount for the company. 63% of their revenues comes in from SUVs, and this is the FY24 number that we are looking at. It's a powerhouse, especially in this category. Let's look at the IPO details that we are watching out for. The price band amount is finally there. So we are looking at a price band of 1,865 rupees to 1,960 rupees per share, which turns out to be an issue size of 27,870 crore rupees. This is an OFS that we are watching out for, 14.2 crore shares, which represents around 17.5% stake, where the promoter, HMC, that's Hyundai Motor Corporation, will be selling the 17.5% stake. This is an implied market cap that we are watching out for the company at 1.5 lakh crores to 1.59 lakh crore rupees. Let's move on and talk about how Hyundai Motor has been demonstrating strong financial growth over the years. FY21 to FY24, the CAGR growth for revenue has been 19.2%, and for an EBITDA, it's an even impressive number, 27.5% over the same period. This surely shows the efficient capacity that they have as well as scale that they can grow at going forward. Now, the company's EBITDA margin, that has also expanded approximately more than actually 100 basis points over the last couple of years from FY22 to FY24. Like you can see, FY22, 11.6% was the EBITDA margin, while it in FY24, it was at 13.1. Q1 of FY25, that's what they are maintaining as well, 13.5% is what they are around. Entry into EV, they made the entry in 2019 with the launch of Kona EV, and this is despite being a late entrant, they managed to capture some of the market share, currently holding around 1.1% market share. And this is in an industry and segment which they want to focus on, and this is a rapidly growing segment. Compared to Tata Motors, obviously it's much lower because Tata Motors is dominating over there with 65.3%. Let's move on, talk about the passenger vehicles. What is that looking like? Strong contender there, right? Q1 FY25, Hyundai captured around 14.6% market share, and key competitors obviously coming in from Maruti Suzuki, leading there with 41.1%, followed by Tata Motors and M&M also in the race there. Financially stacking up quite well against its peers as well. So looking at it in terms of revenue, 69,829 crores, though Maruti as well as M&M have seen a higher revenue. This is an FY24 number as well as the EBITDA number that you can see stacking up over here. Quite interesting in terms of the growth that they've been managing over the last few years. Pulling out the margin numbers, that's an interesting number versus its peers. Hyundai has 13.1% EBITDA margin, Maruti 13%, and the highest margin comes in from M&M, obviously in a large chunk from M&M is 15%. So margins almost in line with what we're watching out for the peers. However, Hyundai is still growing at a rapid pace. Expectations are to grow at 20% CAGR growth going forward. And let's not forget valuations, right? Quite attractive over there when you're looking at it from a 1-year forward period as well. FY26 period, 18 times, assuming that Hyundai grows at a 20% CAGR growth, stacking up well cheaper than Maruti and M&M going forward. Now, this valuation position is the best in terms of the industry when you're comparing it right now. So, quite attractive for FY24 as well as FY25. So, all eyes on 15th of October when the IPO opens up. The company also spoke about the plans to invest 32,000 crore rupees in India over the next decade.
CNBC-TV18's most comprehensive and award-winning news show, India Business Hour, drops first on YouTube. So get the first access to the most influential architects of policies and politics, the key newsmakers of the day. Discover the big themes as we decode the business of markets, macros, and more. Be the first to go to the heart of all the top stories that drive the day's agenda. Catch the award-winning India Business Hour live every night on YouTube with me, Shireen Bhatt.
India Business Hour live on YouTube at CNBC-TV18 weeknights at 7 p.m.
Thank you for watching CNBC-TV18. For all our top stories and news updates, follow us on our social media platforms.